ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಪರಮಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. Good day, viewers. Today I want to share with you an interesting story of a child who spoke from the womb of his mother. Various chapters of Mahabharata or the Upakathas deal with what is dharma, what is adharma. We talk about surrogacy, artificial insemination, cloning, the so-called test tube babies, polygamy, adultery, love marriages, the neogi systems, divorce, transgenders, sex changers. Almost all these topics are covered in Mahabharata at one or the other places. So much so, it is said, whatever has happened, whatever is happening, and whatever happens in future is also covered in Mahabharata. Comparing today's understanding of those topics, what is there in Mahabharata, and directly relating it to the present times may look strange. In order to understand Mahabharata in its entirety, we need to unlearn today's knowledge and go back to those times to understand those concepts clearly. Anyways, now let me start the story of a great sage by name Dirghatamas. During the Mahabharata period, it is said there lived a pious and a great sage by name Uchitya. He was married to a girl named Mamata, and as is the next logical step after marriage, Mamata became pregnant. One day, when Uchitya was away, his brother, Sage Brihaspati, visited the hermitage. As you all know, Sage Brihaspati was one of the most important and most pious and respected sages of his time. Not only this, he was the teacher or guru to gods themselves. So, obviously, when such a sage visited Mamata, Mamata received the sage with all due respect, not only because he was a great sage, but he was also her husband's own brother. It is in our Sanatana Dharma that any visitor to our house, whether he be a prince or a pauper, or a friend or an enemy, will be received as an important guest. And after their well being inquired, we arrange for refreshments, whether breakfast, lunch, or dinner, tea, coffee time, whatever it is, and treat them with utmost respect and love. And even as they depart, we patiently wait near the door, exit door, or the gate, and see them off. This is our dharma. Many of us do this even today. But again, there are people who open the door, and as soon as you walk in, they do not even have the courtesy to say, please come in. And there are others who directly bang the door on your face. In many other cultures, as you know, uninvited guests are not welcome. And as I said, they shut their doors on our faces. While some think it is okay because we blindly believe other cultures. While, as I said, while some think it is okay, believing that what other cultures do, like shutting the door on your face, is correct, our Sanatana Dharma does not preach that. Anyways, coming back to the story here, Mamata received sage Brihaspati with all respects. But however, the sage Brihaspati, after seeing Mamata, it is said he desired union with her. He wanted to cohabit with her. Again, I need to make a stop here, saying that you may all be wondering, the Guru of gods, a great sage Brihaspati, why did he eye his own brother's wife? We need to understand and clarify that during those times, polygamy was normal, and men and women, if they desired each other, they could sleep together, and there was no social stigma attached to this. Polygamy was an accepted practice then. As such, when Brihaspati desired Mamata, who was already carrying a child from her husband Uchitya, refused to cohabit the sage, citing her pregnancy as the reason. However, Brihaspati was so enamored of Mamata that he tried to force himself upon her. At this point, it is said that the child in Mamata's womb spoke to sage Brihaspati and admonished him, saying that, "O sage, can't you see my mother is pregnant with me? There is space only for one child here in my mother's womb. Why are you trying to put one more child here in this already congested womb?" Sage Brihaspati was taken aback and was aghast at this child speaking. However, his ego was hurt, and he spoke to the child in the womb, saying that, "Oh baby, or oh child, without even seeing me or the world around you, just being in the womb, you are trying to reprimand me. Therefore, I curse you. Let your life be a life of darkness. As you are in the womb, so be it, even when you are born." And the sage or the Rishi went away. Later, when Mamata delivered the child, because of the curse, the child was born blind. And he was named as Dirghatamas. Dirghatamas means one who is perpetually enveloped in darkness. He was schooled in various schools of thoughts. He learned the Vedas and he became a very learned Rishi. That is this Dirghatamas. Not only that, it is believed he heard and learned the Vedas and other devotional scriptures even while he was in the womb of his mother. As per our belief systems, you all know, pregnant mother's thoughts, ideas, desires, and her activities during the pregnancy, it is said, has got a great bearing on the character of the child, which is still in the womb. Engaging in pleasant thoughts, hearing religious discourses, hearing songs in praise of God, the mothers will beget a child who is dharmic and devout. However, I do not want to comment here what the present day mothers, would be mothers, do during their pregnancy or how their thoughts are engaged. Since Mamata was a devout woman, she begot a godly child, though he was blind. Many of the verses in Rigveda is attributed to sage Dirghatamas. His works, it is said, are so poetic and at the same time cryptic and has deep meanings, many of which is not even understood today. It is also believed he was the first person who divided the entire cosmos into 360 degrees, and even the concept of time and the zodiacal signs, everything has been attributed to sage Dirghatamas. Such was his knowledge and his power of expression. Later, when he came of age, Dirghatamas married a girl named Pradveshi, and through her, he begot many children. As you know, despite genes playing an important role, all worthy men will not bear worthy kids. Similarly, a worthy kid may be born to an unworthy father. It so happened that the kids or children of Dirghatamas turned out to be cruel, ignorant, wicked, and unworthy sons. Things went on very well for some time within Dirghatamas family, but after some time, it is said troubles began to brew both at home and also at Dirghatamas ashram. While at ashram, he was looked down upon, one coming from a lowly birth. His life at the home or the ashram became unbearable because Pradveshi, that is his wife, began mentally harassing Dirghatamas. Ultimately, one day Pradveshi told Dirghatamas that her married life has been a failure and she is not happy and she was not willing to look after him since he was blind. Dirghatamas was taken aback by this sudden development and felt his blindness was the reason for his wife to desert him. Instead of reacting the way we normal humans react to an adverse situation, Sage Dirghatamas thought over the situation very calmly and he understood or analyzed that polygamy was the reason for his wife deserting him. Why? Because, as he said to himself, because of this polygamy, Brihaspati desired my mother, even though she was married to my father Uchitya. If Brihaspati had not sought my mother as a child, I would not have spoken from the home. And if I had not spoken, Rishi Brihaspati or Sage Brihaspati would not have got angry. And if he had not got angry, he would not have put a curse. If he had not put a curse, then I would have not been born blind. And now, if I was not blind, my wife would not have deserted me. As an unknown poet says somewhere, all was lost for a want of a horseshoe nail. Just because of this polygamy practice in the society, all this have a bearing on me. And finally, today, my wife is deserting me. That such was the thought of Dirghatamas. So, on that day, it is said he put a curse on the society and the people at large. What was that curse or what was that rule? That polygamy is abolished or nobody should practice polygamy. One wife has to have one husband has to have one wife. It is not that you desire somebody and go and sleep with them. The society has to stop this. So from then on, it is said the society came out of that practice of polygamy. However, as the story goes here, despite the reasoning of Dirghatamas, Pradveshi was not concerned with the reasons, with these reasons, or this hair-splitting logic of her husband. She simply wanted to get rid of her husband, that is Dirghatamas. So she called upon her unworthy sons and told them, "You please throw this your father into river Ganga." These sons put him on a small raft and pushed him into the river. In this Kali Yuga, we all see such incidents happening on day-to-day basis or on daily basis. Husbands killing wives, wives killing husbands, children killing parents, parents killing their kids, murders, threats, slayings, all for want of some property, money, wine, women, or for some silly reasons. I will not elaborate on this here. Dirghatamas, blind as he was, he caught hold of the raft and traveled as the river's coursed its way downwards. It is said at this point of time, downstream towards the river Ganga, a king by name Bali happened to be bathing in the same river. And when he saw this old Dirghatamas hanging on to a raft, he called his soldiers and he brought him ashore. And having spoken a few words with Dirghatamas, the king realized that this guy or this Rishi is no ordinary person. He is a very learned man. And he welcomed Dirghatamas into his palace with all royalty and respects. After the usual civilities, King Bali opened up his sorrows to in front of Dirghatamas, saying that his wife has not borne him any kids. Dirghatamas says that as per the Niyogi system, he is okay to sleep with the wife of the king Bali, that is Sudeshna, and beget her children. We have to understand here that it was a practice in the days of yore a Niyogi system. It was called a Niyogi system. A Niyogi system is where when a Kshatriya king cannot beget children for whatever reasons through his queen will be sent to a great sage who will cohabit for a day and beget children. The sole intention of this union is to beget the children to continue the lineage in that particular kingdom. So King Bali asked Dirghatamas for this Niyogi systems, and he asked his wife Sudeshna to go and sleep with Dirghatamas. Sudeshna, she realized and understood through her maids that this sage was born blind, and instead of she going, she sent one of her servant maids. The servant maid went, slept, and had kids. That's a different story. When the king realized that it was not Sudeshna, but the Sudeshna servant maid who went and slept with Dirghatamas, the king once again requested Sudeshna to go and sleep with Dirghatamas. And Sudeshna, at this point of time, it is said she obliged. And when she went to the room or the place where Dirghatamas was waiting for her, it is said Dirghatamas just touched her. And through this ascetic power, six sons were born to Sudeshna, it is said. And each of the sons became very great kings and had their kingdoms in their own names. Mahabharata says that those kingdoms were like known as Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Kundra, Kumbha, Ordha. Not much is known about the last few years or last few days of Dirghatamas. Probably he was in the kingdom of Bali and under his patronage. Now, the highlight of this narration was how a child in the womb spoke to an outsider, that is Brihaspati. We haven't come across this situation till the present times. We do not know whether in future a child will be speaking from the womb. We have to wait and see. And the next highlight of this narration was the abolition of polygamy in the society. So this is a brief story of Dirghatamas, who is revered a lot because of his great compositions. And this story, it is said, was told by Bhishma to his foster mother Satyavati. More such strange stories will come up in the next few editions. Please do watch. Till then, take care and bye.